We're back, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile Park. Seattle Sports on 710. And perfect timing, right, as we're coming back from commercial. Sitting right next to us right here is a man who's come up with some big hits for this team, and hopefully there are a few more big hits in this final run with the Astros and then 4 with the Rangers. Talking about Josh Rojas with us. How are you, man?
Good, doing great.
I was talking today as a fan. There was such a sense of relief after last night. Like, I felt like I could breathe. Like, oh, okay, you got to win. Is that how it feels in the clubhouse?
Not really, to be honest. It was excitement. I wouldn't say relief. We go into every game expecting to win. And when you come out with a win, it doesn't really feel like a relief to us. It feels like we did what we were supposed to do. It's bigger letdowns when you come out with a loss, but pure excitement when you come out with the win, and got to move on, and we got to win. We got to win quite a few games here coming down the stretch.
Josh, we were just talking about catcher caught stealing, which is phrased kind of odd, but you had the one with the tag between the legs, right, where you jumped up in the air. Mm-hmm. Take us through that. I mean, we talk about that's got to be a perfect throw and everything, but for you, I mean, you got to make sure you catch it first, and then, it's kind of like in football when a guy runs before he catches the ball. I mean, that's a difficult play to make.
Yeah, it's honestly, covering the bag on a steal is one of my favorite plays.
Really?
I always look forward to being the one covering the bag. Whenever it's a lefty with a runner that's going to run on first, I'm kind of disappointed it's not going to be me covering. But no, it's always been a fun play. I grew up watching. My favorite guy watching make those plays was Javi Baez, make those tags at second base. And just what I saw from over the years was, trying to catch the ball as deep as possible into the baseline. The ball travels faster than you're able to catch and tag. Yeah. So the deeper you can catch that baseball into that runner's baseline, the faster the tag is going to be. So I'm trying to do everything I can to catch the ball, right on the tag, instead of, reaching and coming back and tagging.
Right.
And that was just one of those scenarios where, the throw was up the line to where if I wanted to catch it deep into the baseline, it was going to be as he was already past me. So it's just, in the middle of the, as I'm reading the play, it's like, okay, the ball's coming. He's coming into me. So I just kind of like jumped over him to give him space as the ball's coming, and it just worked out. It worked out perfectly.
Improv.
Yeah.
Good. Sounds like you were able to slow that whole thing down in your mind, because the way you describe it, because a lot of times people make a play and they go, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But,
well, it was funny because it did happen in slow motion for me, but when I felt the tag, that was a surprise to me. Like, yeah. I caught it and kind of just swiped and thinking, I'm just going to swipe. And I looked on video after. You can actually, I tagged him and, looked at the umpire like, did you see it? Because I felt the tag. I didn't know if he saw it, and he called him out, and I was still just kind of standing there like, oh, my God, I really tagged him. I didn't know if it was before he got to the base because I couldn't see behind me. But, when I felt the contact, it was like I looked at the umpire like, did you see it? Because it was bang, bang.
It's fun to watch, man.
Those are huge plays, too. We all watch, and the hit is big. He drives in a run. This happens. Those are the obvious moments. But I feel like moments like that, almost we don't understand the impact they can have on your starting pitcher, just the vibe of the team. Like, everybody's fired. We saw Julio going nuts after Teoscar made that face-first catch into the wall last night, and Julio's just like, yes, yeah. I mean, just the impact a play like that has, not on just the fans, but the team.
Yeah, those are big, to shut down big innings. Because we're talking about, obviously with Teo's catch, we had multiple runners, first and second, I think, and that's probably scoring a run and putting another run in scoring position. And we get an out there, and it's still first and second. So I think it was just first, actually. I think Tuve was on first. But, yeah, those are huge outs. And then when it comes to Cal's been on fire throwing guys out, those are guys that are already on base. They've already reached base, and we're cutting them down and adding it out to the inning. So those are huge for, getting momentum in our favor.
Have you gotten settled in, Josh, finally?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Really good.
Yeah. What about as far as Houston? I think Shannon told us that you kind of grew up in that organization, and any special feelings playing the Astros?
Yeah, it's really good to see a lot of the guys I came up with. This team has quite a few guys that I came up with, that I grew really close with. I had Omar, the first base coach. I had him for a couple years as my manager in the minor league. So it's always really good to see these guys. A lot of these pitchers I came up with, so it's fun to face them and not be on the other side of it. So, it's a lot of fun to see the guys, but it also is a lot more fun to beat them.
I agree.
Yeah, Javier, I played 2.5 years with, and then get to face him last night. There's nothing more that I want to have that bragging rights against him. A guy that I came up with. I'm not trying to let him get me out. So to get a hit, and then I got to see him actually getting off the bus today, and we got to talk about what he threw me, and I was asking him why didn't he throw more changeups, because I know that was a go-to for him when I faced him in the past, and when I came up with him,
That's what you were waiting for up there?
I wasn't waiting for it, but I was worried about it. I knew I had to stay on the heater because he has such a good heater, and even if you're on his heater, it can still beat you. So I knew I couldn't come off of it, but it was in the back of my mind that, if he does throw a really good changeup here, it's going to beat me. And I got to talk to him about that today. Hey, what was with the changeup? He's like, I didn't have a good feel for it. I only threw a couple good ones, so I was just trying to trust the heater. So, it's fun. And then talking to Chaz about, him getting a bad jump and getting thrown out the other day by Cal. And he's like, yeah, he was too quick and I got a bad jump. So it's cool to go out there, compete, try to win, and then catch up with your boys after and, talk about, what went well, what didn't. And we're going to try to beat you again tomorrow.
So did you grow up a Cubs fan then?
No.
You said Javi Baez was your guy. So.
No, but I did. I loved watching him. I grew up a Diamondbacks fan, but,
okay.
When I got to, college in that time, I was a little bit less of just a Diamondbacks fan and more of just a fan of watching guys that did stuff well. Coming up through college and high school, I never really had hitting coaches or, it was just me and my dad. He'd hit me ground balls and throw me BP, and we'd talk about swing stuff. But I learned a lot from just watching the game. So I had a lot of different favorite players, and I picked little things from everybody that I liked. I really loved Ichiro. I got to meet Ichiro here. He was one of my favorite players growing up. Just the way he hit, slapped the ball over the yard, high contact guy, doesn't strike out. Javi Baez was a guy I liked for his defensive stuff. Not a guy I would watch offensively. Just too big of a swing for me, but defensively, he was one of my favorite guys to watch. Just quick tags and flashy on defense. So there's quite a few guys that I really enjoyed watching through those years, and a lot of guys that I took a lot of stuff from. Arenado was another guy that that's how I learned to play third base, was watching Arenado on YouTube. So
it's a good guy to watch.
Yeah, really good fundamentally. So yeah, I was a big fan of just guys that I could learn from.
Josh, is it pretty common, either before a game or after a game, that you guys come together in the clubhouse and somebody says something, and or is that not so common? And also, who sort of leads that?
So I've actually never been a part of this, but I love it. After a win, Gino is the ringleader.
Okay.
And he will get the team. Everybody comes together after a win, and he'll go through who did well. The pitchers that did well, who had good games offensively, some key moments in the game that really stood out, like a Teo catch is something that would come up. Good base running, just all the things that we touch on, and all the guys love it, and all the guys go crazy and clap, and we'll point out some funny things that happen. Gino will pick on himself sometimes, or pick on some other guys. So it's actually really fun. I love it. I look forward to it. After every win, I look forward to getting back into that clubhouse and being part of that.
Did you know anybody on the team before you got traded here?
I came up playing against Ty France when he was with San Diego. I actually got the opportunity to over the lockout, the COVID lockout. I was taking ground balls at ASU, and JP was there taking ground balls, so I got to take ground balls with him and talk and interact with him. Let's see who else. I think I played with Stephen Vogt in Arizona. I think those are the only guys that I knew personally before I got here.
Josh, can you hang out for another hour, maybe?
I wish.
Yeah, it's great having you up here. I know we got to let you go here pretty soon, but any rituals before a game for you?
No, it depends on how it's going. You know, if I have a good game, it's probably going to stay the same. If I don't, I'll switch it up. But
Like example, socks.
Are you wearing the same socks from last night? Are you?
Yeah, I got the same socks. But you know, my go-to spot right now is me and my wife like to go to Homegrown it's on Mercer Island. They got good breakfast sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go there. If the weather's nice, which we haven't taken the dogs out lately, but we'll take the dogs on a little walk or take them to the dog park. Yeah. And then I'll come to the field, and it's kind of the same thing. I just relax and get ready to take ground balls, and then I like to do all my heavy stuff right before the game starts. So I'll go in the weight room and get a really good warm-up and get a good sweat going, go into the cage and hit, out on the field, get stretched, run a couple sprints, and then right into game time. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's something I picked up this year, second half of last year into this year, because it used to be, you know, a full warm-up, get ready for BP, and then kind of a settle down, and then a full warm-up, get ready for the game.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it was, by the 6th, 7th inning, I was kind of tired. So now I just, you know, get a little loose, get a couple stretches in before, you know, ground balls, and then get a full-blown warm-up and a full sweat going right before the game.
All right. I know we're late. What kind of dogs do you have?
2 golden doodles.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
2 and 1.
Big?
One's big, one is a little bit smaller. The girl's a little bit smaller.
What are the names?
Booker and Mia.
Booker and Mia.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome to talk to you, man.
Yeah,
really cool
thanks
to
for having
talk to
me.
you. Appreciate you
Thanks,
coming
Josh.
up. Last night was cool. We should do that again.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.